All right, we're on air now. All right, this is a December issue hangout for us, for the Yowie Hangout, and we've got a few things we're going to talk to you about today. So if anyone wants to come in and join or view, I've opened it up I've sent the links on the Yowie Times page on Facebook and on my Blue Mountains page. Hey Dave, how's things been going down in your area, and what have you been up to lately?
Oh, it's just been a bit hot, mate. I haven't been doing much at all.
I know it was like, what was it?
31 degrees here today, but they're expecting 38 degrees on Tuesday. So, yeah, no, too hot for me to go out there at the moment. But as soon as we get a little bit of cooler weather, I've got an area I'm interested in. I might do a bit of an explore where around the Aurora Valley, where we plan to do that trip in a few months' time, more to autumn, I'd say, when the weather cools.
Yeah, so just give us a bit of a heads up on, where we're going to go down to the valley. This is in the Canberra area, or near Canberra. So
yeah, it's to the south of Canberra. There's only really one road that goes through. It goes through southern Canberra, goes through a little town called Tharwa. It's a village, really.
Yeah.
And then it goes, and the only thing out there past Tharwa is a few farms, but the Namadgi Visitors Centre.
Yep.
Then you get into Namadgi Park, and then it's one road really that takes you all the way through to Annaminaby, but we turn off to the right, so there's roads off this one road.
Okay.
To the older rural tracking station and through to the Aurora Valley.
Is it two-wheel drive?
So there's, sorry?
How good's the road? Is it good?
No, you can get in there. No, it's a good road.
Oh,
yeah, it's a good road. You can get in there with a normal car.
That's cool. That's what we all
So, yeah. So, and it's established camping grounds. It's got toilets, and the only thing, you've got to bring your own firewood and probably water, I'd say.
Yeah.
But
there's no creek there, like that we could go to get like.
Yeah, there's a river, the Aurora River, and I'd say it'd be a pretty good water supply.
Yeah,
but you'd have to filter it anyway, just to be 100% sure.
Oh yeah. No, we get the filter out, but so what's how many reports have happened in this area that we're going to go to that have been sightings or encounters of Yowies?
Well, I've heard it's all of these areas that I go to join up. It's a wide area. Like if you have a look at the Namadgi National Park, it's 1,000 square kilometres, which is a big area.
Yeah.
And just because access roads are very limited, the ACT, I don't know. I sometimes think it's a bit of a conspiracy to keep people out of there, but most places you have to get to by foot. You can only go a certain distance in a car. Although the Aurora Valley Road, you can get, when we go down there, we can be able to get around along the Aurora Valley Road fairly easily. So, and then walk from there.
Okay. So, okay.
Yeah. But no, there's been reports over the years. None of them really have been documented. They're stories that come through that I've heard over time, and I think I have read a few every now and then. But there's none that I can put my finger on, as in for the AYR site, for example. Or like that, they've come through to me by stories told, like a mate of a mate. if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But all these areas are joined up. Areas where I've had experiences, and where other people have had experiences. It's just one big wide area. It's just which avenue you approach it by, you know. But it's a big area.
Yeah. So
But I definitely think it's worth having a look down there, and you know, no one else does. So it's a sort of like virgin territory, really. Anybody going in there doesn't sort of make a noise about it on the internet. So, you know, there might be people going into that area, but they certainly haven't raised their head on the internet. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, that's pretty good that that not many people.
But
that's what we want, because when we
oh yeah, there's very, very few people. The odd hiker, and like I said, there's a camping ground there. But the time we're going down there won't be a holiday period or anything, so I don't doubt whether there'd be much activity down there in the camping ground either. As in people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because when we've gone to we've gone to some sites where you know, we can only go on like a Saturday or Sunday, you know, Saturday night, Sunday, because everyone works. There's a lot of people there, so we basically, when I use places like that, that's just our base, and then we take off into the bush away from them. But like the last one, we went to the Wadigans, you know, like we were away from the campsite, went to an area where me and Adam had a sighting and an encounter, and people had train in their cars, so it sounded like a bloody train going just near where we were. And as soon as they started doing that and pumping music out, it was like, oh, well, this night's over. Anyway, yeah, so that's why we like to hike into places, because then we don't have anyone, you know, more than likely no one's going to be there. So, you know, the odd occasion you'll get one. If you get a couple of campers, it's not too bad, but you really want to go to places where there's possibly no one else other than yourself. So if there's any movement, any noise, you know, you can concentrate on it and know that, you know, could be what we're looking for, or just an animal, like a nocturnal animal, than a person. So that's what we want. So yeah, so we're looking at about autumn. So
yeah.
What would the weather be like?
Yeah, I think autumn, mate. I think it's too hot up and, you know, during the summer. You know, it'd be all right if you were camping down there with eskies full of ice and you weren't doing any walking, but yeah, I think it'd just be too hot. And plus,
What's the weather going to be? How would it be, like mid-20s, low 20s?
Yeah, it'd be, you know, just after summer into autumn, you'd be looking at, you know, the nights might be a little bit cooler, but that's not such a drama. I think when we went to Wee Jasper, it got down to -3 or something one night.
I think it did. I think the worst night for me was the night that I got sick, and I woke up the next morning and I had to hit the toilet a few times. You know, had to get Roger to drive home. So yeah, I didn't have a good night. We were walking around that night. I was fine. As soon as I laid down, and half an hour later, that's it. I was crook as. So I ended up coming home and spending 3 days in bed and on the toilet. So yeah, don't know what got me there, but no one else got it from drinking the water. Or I brought water from home, so I didn't drink any other water than home. And
right.
food I had, my missus had it too. So I don't know. Someone could have had a bug and they sneezed and I breathed it in or something. You never know. So anyway, that happened.
But anyway, if I think probably have a look at the weekend before Anzac Day. If you know, people are interested in tagging along, they're quite welcome.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe.
Yeah. We'll do something.
Didn't you say?
Because the Anzac Day's on Wednesday.
Give people
this coming year. So
Wednesday. Well, but I was thinking, you know, if you give people heaps of notice, they might be able to take the Friday off work, or
yeah,
you know,
or even
do that, and then we can get
even take a Monday and Tuesday,
or
Saturday to Tuesday, and come home Wednesday, Anzac Day. something like that.
Yeah. So, but we'll put the details on the Yowie Times site,
Yeah, we'll do that.
maybe, and
Yeah, other
see what
sites.
people's thoughts are on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it on a couple of sites, the Blue Mountain site, the ACT site, and the Yowie Times site. I noticed the Yowie Times is doing pretty well for membership at the moment. I approved 2 people today.
I just approved one before I started.
And
Yeah, so it's getting big. I've actually got 171 subscribers now. Just got a new one yesterday. And mostly a lot of people see it through on like Facebook through the groups, and then a lot of them do see it if they look up Yowies, and I post like a page or 2 of every issue, make a little video of it with a screenshot of some of the pages, and people can get there and read it and think, oh yeah, this looks all right. So I do it on every month on my YouTube channel. So on Australian Yowie, so I've been doing that. So yeah, it's slowly getting bigger, the Yowie Times one, and it's basically just there for people to say, hey, oh yeah, I've got a story I want to tell. If you want to put your name, you can put your name. If you don't want to put a name in on a witness report or something, yeah, people just want to read the reports. They don't really care who's it happened to, because they just want to know what's happened to other people that's happened to them. They want to know other people having the same experiences, and some of the stories are really, they're all over the place. All different things have happened. It's not always the same encounter. It's always something different happens, or they'll see something, they'll smell something, and then they don't really think of it. And until years later, where they see groups like this, Yowie groups, and then they say, hey, that happened to me. I thought that was kids having a smoke. But I've seen all these red lights, and they weren't lights, they were red eyes. I thought they were kids having durries, That's what one report was. The guy was in the backyard with his family, kids, and he said he's seen 2 red lights, and then all of a sudden there was another 2, and another 2, and he's seen a couple. And he's like, he walked up there, and he looked up, and the hill went pretty much straight up after his block of land finished. And then he said he thought it was young kids. And then the next day he's like, why would the kids be up there having a cigar? What would they do that for? He goes, I couldn't smell smoke because the breeze was coming towards him. He goes, he couldn't smell nothing, but he goes, so now he thinks it was their eyes. Yeah, one other thing we want to talk about is our good old favourite Pareidolia. So
yeah,
it does raise.
Well, I've noticed there's been a lot of Facebook groups starting up recently, or for some time now they've been starting up, and they seem to focus on Pareidolia. I mean, they might what they are photographing might actually be the real deal. I don't know, but it's not definitive. It's they're sticking their hands up in the air and saying, "Look, that's a Yowie," and that's the big fella, and that's the juvenile, and that's the female, and that's the male, and I'm looking at these photographs and I can't see a thing.
Yeah.
And
I've actually had
the occasion.
Yeah, sorry, Dave. I've actually had a photo I had years ago. I've lost it now, but I thought I saw a face looking at me. All right. So what I did, I went back to that same area. It was like a 2-hour trip in to get into where it was, and I went exactly the same time, and I was lucky the sun was out, just exactly the same. I knew where I was standing near a tree. It was like a tree stump. I knew where I was standing because I took a photo of that area. I sat there, got my camera, took a photo, and I looked and I went, look, this is exactly the same. This face is still here. I walked up to it. It was just light shining through the leaves. And where the light was, it just looked like eyeballs. And then just my brain made a face out of it. And that's what it was. So it's quite easily to, the light conditions, especially on leaves. Look at the leaves. And leaves just aren't a solid canopy. There's gaps in them, so light's going to get through. So it's going to make weird angles and weird shapes. So that's what we've got to come up against. And, like you said, more and more people have been putting circles around things or adding eyeballs, like red dots into them. It's when you do it too much, people aren't going to take you seriously. You want to, you know, if you put one up here and there, yeah, but when you put a lot up, people are going to be going, oh, just another pick, and they're not even going to take notice of it. It could be real deal. Could be the real deal.
I think it boils down to, no, I mean, they might actually be correct, but what they're looking at might actually be the real deal. But what I'm saying is you've got to get back to a little bit of a method, you know, like you've got to be able to go back the next day at the same time in the same conditions and take a follow-up photograph and then go, look, there's nothing there this time. And then it adds credibility to the fact that what you got the first time could have been something. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of follow-up. There's no follow-up to any of this. It seems to be, I'll just go out there and take random pictures of the bush, get home, and then find the things after the fact. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
there's no visual sighting by themselves to say, hey, I pointed the camera at something.
Yeah.
And I just think it's I just don't think it's doing, you know, much good for the whole aspect of research. It's detracting from it in some respects.
Yeah, it actually gets it's actually got a bit worse lately. I've noticed it does run in patterns where a lot of people kind of beat us out. But you know, people will get more credibility in what you're saying and what we've written about. Is go back there and have a good look around. Like even when you're taking the photos, walk into that area when you're taking the photos, have a look around, and when you come back and you see these faces and go, no, I walked there. There was nothing there. I'm just seeing faces in my mind. You know, you get more credibility if you go back. And then you look at Rusty. He's got there when he's got laser pointers and, you know, showed you, how far away he was, how tall the tree is, you know, all stuff like that. So,
yeah, that adds credibility. But I'm not picking on anybody. I just think that there needs to be a fair bit more follow up going on to you know, to be able to say that this thing's real. But anyway, let's say hello to Adam.
Adam, there he is.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you going, Adam? How's the weather up
there? Really, really hot.
I heard the fires got close to your area. Didn't they have a fire up there the other day?
Yeah, we could see the smoke from our house. It looked very close. It was only a few kilometres away.
That was like last year too, happened as well.
Yeah. It was out of control and you know, went through heaps of hectares. But lucky it was going the opposite direction to our house, thank goodness. But yeah, from our back porch, there was just these twin pillars of smoke going up. Like, you know, it looked very, very close. Like we were a bit worried there for a minute. It was planes and helicopters and everything flying over. It was pretty insane. So.
It's actually lucky the wind wasn't going towards your way because there's a lot of dry.
We had another one, no, not yet. And it was less than a kilometre from our house. Like it was really, we were ready. We had the car packed ready to bug out.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. All right.
Now we keep everything in plastic tubs and bags ready to go for bushfires.
Well, you got to do that. Like, look at their family the other day. They all got out because they had a fire plan. And I don't know where they were at. I think they were here in Sydney, and there was a fire. And one of them, they had smoke alarms, even if they didn't have to because they got an old house. But they had a fire plan, where to go, what to do. And they got out. They lost everything, but they all come out alive. So it's the main thing, especially when you live near the bush, you know, and you could be a fire any time. So, Dave, just one other thing. That area, the camping area that's south of Canberra, how far from Canberra is it? Is it about a half an hour trip down, 20-minute trip?
No, about a half an hour drive out there. Maybe 35 minutes. Like I said, it's one road. It's you know, by the time I haven't been there in a long time, but from memory, it'd be under an hour.
Okay.
From the out from So yeah, it doesn't take long to get there really.
Oh,
and there's not a lot of traffic on that road. It's and some pretty wild territory that that the road goes through.
Right. The best thing for anyone that's going to come along would probably have a meeting point somewhere in Canberra and then just go.
Yeah. Once you get past the little farming sort of area, it's there's nobody.
No,
It's just bush.
it's good. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Come on there.
So
We can get everyone, or a good group out there with a few parabolics or night vision and see what we can get. Put a few trail cams out and just have a good time. And hopefully the weather gods are good for us. Maybe when it rains.
yeah, that's right.
So what have you been up
And
to?
I believe Adam and you went out.
Yeah, and Roger.
We went out with Roger as well. Sassafras Gully in the Blue Mountains.
Where we were before,
where we
a bit far away.
With you. Were you there with us last time?
Yeah. Where we were, Dave?
Yeah, I think so. Down the Batman track, it nearly killed me.
Yeah. Well, you know where we went left at Perch Ponds to go up to that campground?
Yeah.
We went instead of there. We didn't come down Batman. I actually found another track. What was that? Wiggins?
Wiggins, yeah, Wiggins Trail.
Yeah, Wiggins. And we actually night hiked in with all our packs and everything.
About what?
Down that.
9 o'clock.
A bit sketchy because everything was a bit wet. There was a little bit of a shower, but we made it into. There's another campground. It's only about a K or so from Perch Ponds, and yeah, but it was beautiful with the water then and everything and heaps of wildlife. And we spent a couple of nights there in Sassafras Gully.
I saw I saw Dan's video. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was like Harry Butler in the wild.
We even had a snake. I don't know if it was a brown snake or a tiger snake, but it was a baby one about a foot long, and it come across the river or the creek, and
swam across the river.
Me and Roger in the water, and it's probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 foot swam past Roger. Because I went, oh, look, snake. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, I go, no, it's a snake. He's like, oh, shit. And we move out. So I got my camera and trying to film it. But because I was doing some underwater filming, the camera lens was foggy. So I said, I don't know if I'm going to get this. And then I'm like, I kept my distance as much as, you know, a good distance. And then the boys are going, watch out if you get bitten here, mate. You're in trouble. So, it was
yeah,
good.
We still haven't identified the snake yet. We have to look it up and try and find, because it's a young one. And the young ones, if they're venomous, they don't know how to control their venom. So if they bite you, they can really mess you up because they'll just give you all their venom.
It looked like a silvery colour and it had black lines on it. So
it had stripes.
Yeah, stripes on
it. Multicolored stripes.
So
wasn't a tiger snake, was it?
Probably could have been.
Possibly. Yeah.
Possibly.
That's what it looked like, but I have to look it up in my book, so I haven't checked it out yet.
Well, they're the only snake I believe that's got the real aggressive nature to them, so it's probably a good thing you avoided them. Did you have phone reception while you were down there?
No. We had to walk a couple of Ks up the track to get, you know, like half of one bar or something, and you could get text messages in and out. I made a call to my missus, not on my phone. I had to use Roger's phone because there was no reception for Telstra, but there was for Optus.
Oh, that's unusual.
So, yeah, I know. Normally Telstra, you know, takes the cake, but in Sassafras Gully, there's a part on the trail, High Point, which is a few, was it a couple of Ks back up the track, something like that, and you can get a tiny bit of reception, enough to get text messages or make a bit of a crackly call.
Man, I'm looking up brown snakes. And it looks like a brown snake because the brown snakes have got black bands on them as well. Yeah. They look at. I reckon there's different colours, but it could be the one I'm looking at. It's silver and it's got the black lines on it. It could be it. Yeah. So it's possibly either a brown or a tiger. Either way, it's dangerous and stay away from it.
Oh, both of them will kill you. So it's a matter of how much venom gets into the system while you're trying to get out of the place if you were bitten.
Well, you'd be dead there. You'd have to get airlifted out, like 20 minutes to have a chance. No way.
It could be a brown. It could have been a brown. I'm just looking at that picture, and then we got tiger.
Anyway, it was dangerous. There's a resident eastern water dragon. He's probably I don't know, would he be about 3 foot, 2 foot long or something? He's pretty long from his tail to his head. He gets down there, we're feeding him. There's another big spider that's about as big as your hand. He stays on the right.
No, it's not a brown. It was a tiger.
Okay, tiger? Either way.
Yeah.
That's still
Yeah, it was definitely. Just looking at it, it's definitely a tiger.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to say. I'd have to look at the picture again, but yeah, it looks like it was a deadly one anyway.
Yeah.
There was a water dragon.
Anyway, either way, if you were bitten, you would have been in trouble. So yeah, it's probably a good thing to avoid them.
But the only thing was,
is that where you got? Is that where you got the casts?
Yeah.
The handprints.
Got one cast.
Yeah.
Can you see the finger marks on the shade? If I in the light.
Yeah.
So what we're thinking first, that was only 3 fingers, which is like that. But there looks like one here that come out in the cast, which is, you can see it here. So it looks like,
might be 4.
Looks like there's like
4. Yeah.
Oh, and it's like that. 2 fingers like really close together. Yeah, so you can see that. And that was taken underneath like this massive rock that was like, I don't know, 40 tons or something. This massive boulder that come down years ago. And you can see the good size. So if that was the fingers, and the handprint was like, it was on a rock, and the rock was, I'll show you, the rock was here, so the print was there, and the fingers were actually down in the dirt, so you didn't actually get the palm print yet. We only got the fingers. It was underneath this rock ledge, and it actually had little rocks put in to make like a rock wall. So if anything was there, couldn't see from the other side. So yeah, I've seen that, and I've gone. I woke up in the morning, the boys are still asleep, and I went, oh, that was on the Saturday morning because we hiked in pretty late. Like I didn't finish work till like 7 o'clock. I got back here. Adam picked me up, and we met Roger up there. Hiked in really late, so we're all pretty tired. So we didn't really do much Friday night. We just basically set up camp and that, got a fire going, and pretty much went to bed. We're all pretty tired. So we're all setting up for the next night. And then Adam got his famous headache again, and he was pretty much out for the count again.
It wasn't a migraine, it was just a headache.
Big bad headache, yeah. He just said, I'll lay down, and took a few tablets, and that was it. But me and Roger stayed up. We walked around a bit, just not much happened. It was pretty quiet. I think the most noise was made was me dragging this big bloody 10-foot log up 300 metres up the trail, because Roger couldn't help me. He had a sore back, so I dragged that up because we needed more fire.
It was huge.
Yeah, I dragged that up. I don't know how many. Probably weighed 80, 90, 100 kilos. I dragged that up, and we burnt half of that. But then, man, Roger, we've seen these. He goes, oh, look, there's a UFO up in the screen. I'm like, what? He goes, I'm telling you. And we look up, and there's these like satellite dots. I'm like, you're watching a satellite, just when satellites just go straight. All right. There's a dot here, and there's one behind it, and they were going like this. It was like that, and then the one behind it would go like this. It's like they're dogfighting, and they were like this, but they were satellites. They weren't planes. They were too high in the air. It was in space. It was the sun shining on the craft. And then they went around, and then they turned, and they went around and went like a bend shape and went south. They were going from west to east, and as they were going towards east, they were bending around. And I'm like, oh, if I had my night vision and my little monitor on, I would have filmed it. But by the time I got there and got it all ready, they're already gone. It was only like, we probably watched them for a good 10 seconds, and that was it. And we thought, oh, we keep a look out, see if anything else came along. But then it got cloudy, and then we're like, it was about 2:30 in the morning. We heard a few noises. We got our parabolic dishes out. I walked down the trail a bit. There was nothing. It was just dead quiet.
The whole time, yeah.
Let's go to bed.
Cicadas, frogs, dragon, lizards, like water dragons, and the snake, and huge amount of wildlife. The cicadas were like deafening. Early in the morning, you wake up to this roar of cicadas, and then they stopped, and then just before sunset, they started up again. But then as soon as the film went down, it was like somebody flicked a switch and they just all stopped at the same time. Like,
And then all the
somebody just, it was incredible. Just this roar of millions of cicadas, and just just chink, and the switch goes off and they all stop. It was incredible.
Anyway, all right, what I'll do, basically this was only found a couple of 100 meters down. If you kept going along the trail towards Perch Ponds, you don't go that way. You had to come and go the other creek that kind of comes into like a T-shape there, and you had to follow that. And I just looked around, and I just looked underneath. I didn't find it.
The fingers are really splayed. Like humans, we don't really splay our fingers that much. You know, like it's humans, we just do it a little bit like this, but that's really splayed out. So,
but then this is the other one.
Might have been.
This is the other one I got at Glenbrook.
Like it could be a person, This one's a wombat, right?
I'm getting people saying wombat. I'm getting people saying, nah, it looks like all right, you get it here, get in the light, and you get my hand and fingers and then the thumb there. So people saying that's a thumb, and then there's, that's this part here. That's right there. And then this part here is all in here. And this part here is there.
So it could be a hand, you think?
Could be a hand, but it's pretty big. Like if it's a wombat, it's one there and one there. But I have put it next to a picture of a wombat. It did look very similar. But what I want to do for sure is go to a named place, go to Megalong Valley, down there near the Ford Reserve. There's a heap of wombat burrows there. Go there after it's rained, and then get a cast or two and put it right next to it, and then we'll see what we get. But I just haven't been able to get out there. I don't want to go out there when it's really hot. I want to go there when it's a bit cooler. So that's that one, and that's that one.
Yeah, totally different.
Yeah. So trying to put it.
The one on the right looks more human.
Yeah. So
like humanoid.
That wasn't the first one that I saw. I saw there was a couple of them, but the one, not this one, the other one was the best one.
And you got them at Glenbrook, right?
Got that at Glenbrook, at the site where I filmed the big one, and not far where I actually seen the small one. And it's on AYR. I got the audio recording of the report. Yeah, so they're still pretty big, but there's not a wallaby. It's not a kangaroo, because where we found it, like we had to get on our hands and knees to crawl in. Kangaroo, I've never seen a kangaroo in the Blue Mountains in them areas.
Anyway, it just looks too big to be a wombat's foot to me.
Yeah, this second one, yeah. But if it is two, if that's the first one, if that's the front and the back foot's come and landed there, or it could be one whole one, but that's a pretty big wombat foot. It's not as big as my hand.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. So put my hand next to it. It's still pretty big. So if you're looking at, all I've got to do is I've got to go out, get another wombat print, because you look up wombat prints or casts of wombat prints on the internet, you can't find any. I've got to physically go there myself, and I know there's a lot of wombats near the old Ford Reserve that when me and Roger went there.
1 sec.
Yeah.
That was really weird. I have put the video up on my YouTube channel, Australian Yowie. If you look at I did make a video of the cast. I think it's like Glenbrook cast, and you can actually see the photos where I found it. It could have just been a wombat walking under there, but then again, it could have been someone coming and a little jundagee's gone underneath there and just had his hand, one in the water, one there, and crawled along like that. You don't know. I've seen one in that area within 100 metres from there. Within 100 metres from there, but on the other side of the trail going up. That's when I walked in on a rainy day.
So under a rock fall.
Yeah, I know, it was a big rock ledge. It's on the side of the creek. So it's virtually the side of the creek. It's just a big rock that sticks out. Oh, massive. Oh, it's 30, 40 ton rock.
Right.
And, it's actually, it's a part of the rock formation that's actually the rock ledge where the big one walked around at I think. So it just comes down and, comes down again.
Well, I've been seeing on the news. I've been seeing on the news a lot of rock falls around the Blue Mountains walking tracks at the moment.
Yeah, Wentworth
so
Falls.
There was some people injured. Some people injured recently.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So actually, workers
injured and they had to winter out with the helicopter or something.
Yeah, what they did. It's been an area that's been dangerous. It's when you walk there, when they've opened, it's all signs there. Watch out! Don't hang around here. Quickly just walk through. What they did, they've had it fenced off, blocked off for like 3 months. People have gone in there and said, "Yeah, the experts, yeah, it's good, it's all safe to do some work." So they were there to free it up, and unfortunately, come down and it squashed one guy. Big rocks just landed straight on him. He was dead, and the other two got injured really bad. I'm not sure if they're in hospital, but they got some bad injuries. So it took them a couple of days, I think, to get the guy that was dead out from there. So that's pretty unfortunate. But that area's been like that for a while. Even if you go down to actually the waterfall at Wentworth Falls, you go to the bottom, to the left-hand side, there's been a massive landslide down. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Adam, yeah. What do you reckon?
That's the rear foot.
Oh, okay.
You look at the top. You look at the top there, Adam. Show it again. See how it's got the claw marks up the top?
Yep.
Don't have any claw marks here. And for an animal that digs holes with their paws, and they've got sharp claws.
There's actual hints of sand.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, you see at the top there, you got the claws. There's no claw marks here. There's nothing. There's no claw marks. This is just like, I've gone and put my finger in the mud. You can't even see claw marks. Oh, is that a double print?
Yeah.
You see, you can't even see the toes or the claw of the one at the back. You're only getting this one, and then like a palm. Is that an elongated part between here and here? This part here, is that an elongated part for wrapping your hand around a tree?
No, I want about stone climb trees. No, it doesn't. It doesn't really, show. And it did look a little bit and this is that's another traces.
Oh yeah.
It's the field guide, so for mammals.
Yep. So until I go back there, I'm probably going to wait till the end of summer. Wait till it gets a bit rainy and a bit wet, so I can get a good cast. Go there, cast it, and
they say that the strong digging claws, particularly those in the front foot, will often leave a clear imprint on firm ground, even though the rest of the foot does not leave a mark. So it's basically saying that with a wombat, you will always see the claws. So,
where's the claws on this? All right, where's the claws on this?
That's what those end bits could be, instead of the ends of the finger.
And the other two aren't really full. Yeah. It didn't even look like claw marks. Like when I looked at all the prints there, it didn't even look like there was, when you get a dog, you can tell the pads and then you can tell the claw marks. It didn't even look like that. But it was soft mud. Yeah, I was just a bit upset because the other print that was there was actually better than that one. Would have got more information out of it. And the water was probably maybe 1.5 feet away from it. So I'm thinking, I'll come back. This was on a Thursday, I think I went. I said, I'll come back on a Saturday and I'll get a cast. So I went out there with Darren, and when we got there, because it had rained the Friday, not much, but it was enough to make it go over that. The water was just over it by the width of the print. I was like, oh man, it's gone. So I looked through and I went, there's one right up there, and this one was about an inch from the water. So the rain went on another 20, 15 minutes, it would have been covered too, and I wouldn't have even got that. But the other one, we would have got a better. It actually had, more than.
It's not koala. It's not koala.
No, it's not a koala. There's no koalas in that area. Not a wallaby, not a possum.
The only thing closest is the wombat. When I'm looking at the tracks, there's one here that looks a tiny bit similar, but it's not. I think it's a bit of a stretch. Even if it was one of these doubled ones.
Anyway, I'll just. I've got to go and get another cast, but I hopefully a wombat's done a double one, and if I do that and it comes out looking the same, well then I'm pretty much sure it's a wombat. Until then, I'm kind of 50-50. I know one person who definitely thinks it's a primate. I won't say his name, but Dave will know. You, Adam. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, he's like, man, that's primate. That's primate. He's definitely got it. He thinks it's a primate. I have sent 2 emails.
Well, I think it's in
to Gary Opit about it. I got the email address from Dean, and I haven't got an answer back. So
I've got his contact details if you want. So.
Yeah, I've sent him 2 emails. So hopefully he did get them. So I sent it twice. So either way, I'll do my own. I'd rather do my own research and go out there and do it myself and have it, make my own mind up about it. If I find tracks that are, that are double printed, where the front and the back are overlapped and they don't look nothing like that, I'll be like, okay, because the wombats are going to have the same shape for it.
It's not like we're just casting a print, like looking at a print or taking a picture and saying no, it's definitely a primate or a yowie or whatever. We're actually doing a cast, we're measuring it, we're photographing it in different conditions, we're comparing it with known tracks of other marsupials and mammals in the area. We're checking, recognized guides and pictures and other information, and doing everything we can to rule out like a natural native. I've got nothing on that one, but.
This one here was found with that rock wall. This one he was found with that rock wall made up, Adam. So what's making the rock wall? Yeah. People can get in, but who would make a rock wall under this massive rock? Why?
I was looking, and there's it's a bit of a tough one too. What's the southern brown bandicoot? Not really. It's because of the splaying. If you look at the, if you've got a couple of tracks together, see with the splaying.
Where's the distribution for that animal here in Australia?
Yeah, that's an issue. Let me have a look.
Because if it's more to like Canberra and southwards, to Victoria.
798.
Yeah, the reason why I'm not going to
mate.
Much lately because
it's the qual.
Been 44.5 degrees here lately, so I think I'm just the researching is just going to be put to side until after Christmas.
There's a spot tail qual, but that's the only other thing is
the qual is a bigger animal. Look that print, that fingers, they're nearly as long as mine.
Yeah, I know, they're huge. They're huge. That's what I'm saying. There's, all I'm doing is, due diligence, trying to rule it out.
So, that was, and we're lucky.
Okay, while you're having a look at that, Adam, I've got to head off. But what I'll do is I'll get the information about this trip down to the Canberra region.
Yep.
And I'll try and hunt down some information on previous sightings and things like that. And I'll put it onto the Blue Mountains group and the Yowie Times group.
Yeah.
and so that people can have a bit of a look at that, and put out some tentative dates if people are interested in coming out and having a look with us. So does that work for you?
Yep. Any information?
Oh, that's good.
Anyway, any information we can give anyone is the best, because you know it doesn't matter if you've gone out before or not. If you've got no equipment, just bring your tent, sleeping bag or hammock like Roger, food, water, whatever, just stuff, you know, stuff for insects, clothes, camera, whatever. Just come out, have a good time. So you never know,
Yeah.
might get some action. We might get herded out like you and Dooley.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, it's not far from there, so
Awesome.
yeah, as the crow flies. So yeah. All right. Well, thanks for chatting, fellas. I've got to head off,
Take it easy.
and
Dave.
I'll talk with you later. Cheers. Bye, Adam.
Hey, Dave.
See you later, Dan.
See you, mate. Yeah, what I was going to say just before Dave left, I was going to say we're lucky to get the print, because how quickly did it go off, Adam, when I was trying to pour it?
I've never seen it go off that quick ever. That was
That's
as fast as we could pour the water in. It was going off.
I was trying to tell you, make it runnier, and you're like, oh, it's all right. I'm going, no, runnier, put all the water in. Because it still was quite steamy, even though it wasn't too bad. It was, the humidity was still up there, but it wasn't like the last time I was there. The first time we hiked in, we come in from Sassafras Gully Road, that trail. It took, I think, close to nearly 2 hours to get there. How long, what do you reckon it took us from Wiggins? It took us about 50 minutes?
Well, I hiked out in, I was literally out in like less than almost about 40 minutes, spot on almost. I was out.
Probably about an hour, hour 10. We were sweating. There was pouring out.
Well, it was nighttime. It was a bit sketchy and dangerous. You know, with the heavy packs going down, we took it a bit easy. So yeah, it was close to an hour.
Yeah, I think if I go there again, I'll be going in via that track. If I go there again, I'll be going in that track.
It's a really good track. I was surprised at how easy I got out. I got out like literally 40 minutes, and I was out from the campground. I was like really impressed with that. I made really good time, but you know, I've been lightening my pack more and more. You know, so I'm doing everything I can to ultralight.
I updated my fan.
Yeah.
And it runs off.
Is that a little 5-watt USB?
Yeah, it runs off USB. Just put it on a power pack, and I think I got one here. You know, but I'll show people that don't know about it. If we're going glamping, I'll take the bigger one. But yeah, you just put it in.
Yeah, I have a small battery operated one.
Yeah.
Foam propellers on the fan.
Yeah, this one's. Yeah. I think this one's plastic. The other one I got's got foam, but you can't get your fingers in. So yeah, you know, just if I sleep, I just put it on the tent hanging above me like that, just for a nice breeze, just to get me to sleep. So, because sometimes you get
in the warmer months, you need a little fan to sleep properly. It's otherwise it's very uncomfortable.
Sometimes I've actually got I've got a towel like this, but I'll get a smaller one, and what I'll do, I'll just wet it, and I'll just like lay it on me if it's wet, if it's, you know, cold, hot, sorry, and this will be cool to cool me off. So I've done that before, but we just don't want to be. You just don't want to go in those days when it's really hot, sticky. You know, we've been there and done that. I'd rather go when it's really cool. Like when we went to Marra, you know, it was a bit foggy and a bit cool, but we were comfortable. You just sit around the fire, and then you take a good sleeping bag. You can take thermals. You don't get cold. You actually enjoy it because you're not worn out from sweating and getting dehydrated. So and I don't know, that one there, you can't filter the water because that's salt water, right? You got to take your own water in that one.
Yeah, you can't filter salt water. You can only use reverse osmosis, or you got to distill it. Distillation.
Okay, yeah, that's why it's not really hard to get in. It's up and down a bit like that, but it's not. It's no Perry's. I do that all day instead of doing Perry's. Perry's look down.
Perry's look down. The only time I would ever do that again is if I had
no pack,
like either no pack or just a small day pack, or like I was just like ultralight You know, I'm talking, you know, very light, maximum say 10, 15 kilos or something.
Because it's like, what is it? It's only about 600. Well, no, it was a couple of kilometers, wasn't it? But it took us like 3 hours. It was like an hour per kilometer or something. It was ridiculous. Oh, I thought, look, it's going to be hard, but I didn't think it was going to be that hard. I looked at a few videos, and the videos didn't really show you everything. The hardest part for me was I was traveling pretty good, coming back up until I got to that last stage because I was at the back.
We all had too much weight. That was the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Way too much. All of us, too much weight for that kind of track.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go to that spot to get in, it would be easier. Even though it takes 5 hours, it's easier to go in via Govetts Leaf, like where the waterfall is. It's actually easier because there's a lot of flat spots and it kind of up and down, up and down. Once you get down to Junction Rock, you follow the creek, or what's it called, Grace River. You follow it and then you go up.
It's a little longer, but it's easier to come in that way.
You still feel it because I've done both of them. I'm not sure how hard it is to come in via Victoria Falls. I don't know if that's like steep and then it's just flat. That could be an option. And then camp up somewhere there because there's too many people there. We walked around there at night and there was tents everywhere. They were even on the other side of the river. They're all over the place. And we had a good time. You know, I enjoyed it, but as experience. But the last bit getting out when it was just going like that. And then
it was extreme. That was the most extreme track we've done, I think, in all of the Blue Mountains.
I was walking like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, man. I just couldn't move.
All of us for about a week after. And I thought it was bad when Greg climbed up the Golden Staircase barefooted.
Oh yeah,
that's hardcore, man. That was. I thought that was bad, and then to top it off was Perry's. So that was the motivation for me to say that's it. I'm lightening my pack. I'm going, lightening my tent bag, lightening everything and you saw the difference. I dropped about almost half my pack weight, probably, and I was flying down that Wiggins track.
Yeah.
And I flew out in like 40 minutes, and I was back at the car. And there was like no strain, no recovery time, very little issues, And that's how it should be. You should be able to do this and not have to recover for a week.
Well, I usually take like some chops or a steak or something like that. I didn't take anything for hot food. I just took noodles and 2 pre-packed bags.
But you had everything with the kitchen sink. You were so overloaded.
No, but I used everything I had though. But I've got to start saying, no, I don't want to use that this time. I don't want to use it. I've got to, I'm probably just going to get another bag that's only like a 70, 75, because that's 90. Get a better harness because the one, I ended up putting double socks under the harness and it was really good. I should have done it.
Yeah, I was wondering what you're going to do with that because your shoulder straps are buggered. And they were cutting into you. The nylon was cutting into you. They would not stay over the padding.
It's all gone wonky. It's been
you would need to stitch them in place. You need to backstitch the nylon over the padding in the middle of the padding. I'm
gonna have a bag, mate, because that one I've had that one a few years. You can see how bag at the harnesses are. That's how many times I've used it. So, the bag itself is nothing wrong with it. It's got one little tiny hole, and I've climbed up Mount Solitary, and I've been chucking it on rocks and everything to climb up, put it on my back, climb a bit more, take it off, chuck it up the next bit of rocks, 3-hour climb up Mount Solitary. I've done that a few times with the bag and gone to other places where, the only way you can get down is you slide on your bum and then your bag hits the rocks. But, I paid $149 for it. And it was worth $300 at the time, so I got it for half price. I think camping store was going, they were closing down, so I got it half price.
Yeah, but I think it's seen better days, and it's had its best days are far behind it, and it's starting to really, negatively affect your ability to get in and out of these difficult places.
But what I do, I need to do what you're doing. That's why I've got to, I'm someone. If it gets a bit warm, it does affect me. I I need a fan or something to fall asleep. So when I
Yeah,
when JB
you get small ones like this, you know, and they do the same job, mate.
Mate, that is light as, mate. It's like 100 grams.
Yeah, I have one of them. I have one, not the USB version, but I have that size. I'm not sure how powerful is the USB version.
It's actually pretty good. I have it pretty far away, like 2 foot. I can still like feel the breeze. That's all I want to do. So, you know, and I won't be taking fans all the time. But if I'm going glamping, I'll take my big one, my big Coleman. But
car camping you can take whatever you like, or you know.
Yeah. But like, how many times we car camp? All right, we went to Wee Jasper. We went to Woodford. I think the only other time
Wadigans.
Wadigans. And the other time was me and Roger. We went to the Old Ford Reserve. But I wouldn't mind going there again, but not camping where we did. Camp up where we got the wood knock happen. There's actually a flat area where I got the old bottles. There's the old medical bottles. There's actually a flat area we can camp there. So,
nothing beats so far the daylight sighting that we had in Wadigans, the daylight encounter. You know, that you're filming in Glenbrook. You know, me with the Junjuddy up in the Blue Mountains.
Yeah. They're things that are unexpected. Like the one at the Wadigans, man. We went there and I'm looking around going, this place is so dry. And that's why I said, we've got to get down that ridge where there's water, it's where it's greener. Nothing's going to be up here. It's dead. There's no reason for anything to be here other than to go from this side over to the other to try and look for more food. And then down there, I climbed down the bottom where you, Roger, have come down as reeds and you've got to jump over logs and everything. And then, you know, I told you something growled at me and you're like, yeah, sure, man. I told you it growled at me. And then you're like, oh. And I told you it's coming up to you and you're like, oh, yeah, I can hear it. Oh, it growled at me too. And now it's running away from me. I'm going to chase it. I'm like, okay. But I knew I could hear it.
I can actually chase it. I'm just trying to get close enough to get it on camera. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't want to have that kind of close encounter. I just want to be able to document.
Say, hey.
He was fast. Like, when you saw him, by the time he zoomed in, he was gone.
Well, you see
do you think you got anything on that footage?
No, because what happened, like, I just had this one, my Lumix. The ridge where it came from was behind me. You were that way. I heard a noise that way. So I've filmed there and I'm just filming and I'm still just panning around, you know, looking like this. And then I just happened to see something move. And by the time I've gone like that and then it's focused, it was already gone. You know how you did the reenactment of walking? Like, yeah. Mate, it was 2 seconds. And it was 2-3 seconds. By the time
he was
around, you know, and it could have been a bit more bushier then. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but it was actually.
No, it was just all the dry leaves, and it was just lots of the trees. You know, he's just went in between the trees.
Yeah, and then you tried to.
But he was moving. He was moving.
You tried to chase it, and you could hear it going down through the vines and stuff. And we tried to get down there again, me and Roger, and I said, "No, we're not getting in here." So.
Yeah, I tried to take Roger in there, and we got stuck in there. I told you I got stuck the first time, and it threw a rock at me, or something small at me. Well, when we went to do the reenactment and everything, I took Roger in there, and it was brutal. Like we were like 15, I think we got 10-15 meters, and you know, we had gear, you know, breaking and falling off us, and it was this razor, this grass, like elephant grass, that was just cutting us up, and it was like brutal. Whatever's going through that stuff, you know, it's humans. We're not going through it. I don't, you know, I had all my proper gear on, and I was still getting cut up. Roger had to cover his hands. It was so bad he couldn't even walk through it because it was just cutting him up.
I remember I'm staying up there and he is making noise, and I'm like, anyway, I'm going to quit it. Stop this here now. We've been going for a while, so we're going to post. Dave's going to post on the groups about the Canberra couple of nights. We're going to try and do it the weekend before Anzac Day, or have it because Anzac Day is on a Wednesday, so you know, we might have it from like a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, go home Tuesday, or Saturday, Sunday. But it's going to be 2 nights. It's at least going to be 2 nights. So you have 2 nights and go home on the 3rd day. So that's the best the best way, because you never know. You might get anything on the first night, but the second night, all hell might break loose. You never know.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, it could be the first night or anything. You like my new haircut anyway?
Yeah, it looks like you've been shorn.
My missus did it. So she got the scissors first, and then she shaved it. The Audi one, $20, mate. Works good. So usually costs $10 to get this done. So it's already paid half for itself. Anyway,
take it easy, man.
Thanks for coming in, mate. And see you, mate. Bye.
See ya. Bye.